3, 2.
Love and light to you, Kev.
Ray, love and light to you, Jocelyn. Welcome back. Hit like, hit share, because the white hats are back. Yes, indeed. And today we are talking Squid in space. Oh, and Niburu might be here. Just saying. Niburu who, Kev?
Niburu woo, Kevin.
Not only that, ladies and gentlemen, not only that, but we've got a very special guest. A special guest on the stream, I say to myself. Yes, Dave answers, we do. Oh, we've got it all going on here today. Don't go anywhere. Enjoy Loch Ness. Look for the monster. It's in there. Or is it? Fizzy Pop, thank you very, very much. Now, wait till I get that to play for you. Where have you gone, Alert Box? Where have you gone? There we go.
Shout out to your family.
So yes, we are back again. Warning, if you need the toilet, go now, because my rainy background is said to have that effect. And yes, that's because I roll like that. Censored Kev is Comedy Dave. Welcome back to our little pre-show live stream. And boy, have I got some good stuff for us to go over today. But I've also got somebody here with me. Yes, indeed. It's been like, wow. How long? Probably just coming up for 22 hours since we last heard this guy, this legend, the man, the myth, the mystery. It's Scotty Lopez. How you doing, bro?
Hey, man. What's up? I figured I would pop in on the pre-show stream and see what was going on. I'm bored. I'm recovering from my concussion, and so I can't be doing any sort of extraneous activity that involves utilizing the noggin. So no Call of Duty, because all of the rapid movements and thinking that is involved in that.
Say it isn't so. Oh.
It's
No
yeah.
Call of Duty, dude. That must be absolutely destroying you.
Yeah, and technically, I shouldn't even be staring at a computer screen, but you know, there's a limit to what I'm willing to put up with. So I'll I'm just gonna kick it here and hang out for a little bit.
Okay,
See
so I
what.
want to give a big shout out, Scotty, to Fizzy Pop in the chat room. New name to me. Good to see you here, Fizzy Pop. I was trying to put all of your fears to bed earlier on, but she's figured it all out now. She's heard the accent. Everything now makes sense because that's what happens when you find out Kev and Dave come from Scotland. And today, oh man, Scotty boy. It's like, I've got some really cool stuff to get into, as you know. And hey, listen, it's not like we've been talking about, what do you call that? That thing out there. We've been talking about it since before 2012. Is it Niburu? Holy shamoly, Scott. When I seen a headline today, I rushed over to Facebook to share it with you. And it was like synchronicity, right? Because just when I was typing to you about the very eccentric orbit of this object, you were saying, wow, Niburu. So, I don't know, dude, but we're going to be taking a look at that today. You looking forward to that?
Oh, indeed. I mean, anytime there's discussion of object. Yes, anytime there's discussion of objects in strange elliptical orbits, I mean, of course, Niburu has to get thrown into the conversation. And, you know, the wording that they're using for this one, right? Gigantic comet, minor planet, you know, I mean,
Minor planets, eccentric orbits.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very, very much, Jocelyn. Wow. Awesome. Now, I want to give a quick shout out to our chatters out there. That's what we do here. We're very laid back. We're relaxed on here, Scotty. We've got the dulcet tunes of Calvin Harris in the background. So I'm going to rattle through the chat room. Hit like, hit share, ladies and gentlemen. And we need one more member to get to 60. That would be absolutely epic if we could do that today. But if not, all good. We've got the Wookiee, we've got Moron, and Moron says his TV just blacked out there. So that usually means this is going to be a really good stream. I got the goosebumps when I said that, so that must be right. Plus, we came into the White Hats music, so the White Hats are here. Dave's here, Scotty's here, Jimmy's in the green room. Dang, it's all going on. We've got John Crackle in there. Karen, one half of the Gherkins. And a big shout out to Zach the dog as well. Hope Zach is recovering nicely. And Andy's on the sofa this week. Big up to Andy. Hey, dude, the best of us sleep on a sofa from time to time. So just keep that in mind, brother. We've also got Alza, another Scot from Gourik. Nice part of the country out there, let me tell you. Fizzy Pop, who I mentioned. King Sweet was first in the chat room today, as you can see on the screen. We've got Marky Boy, Jocelyn, Bernays. How you doing, Bernays? Bernays, I am here to chill you out, take away all your ills and woes, and we'll have you smiling in no time, brother. Smiling, I promise. Who else have we got in here? ZX81. It wouldn't be a stream without ZX. It just wouldn't. Bet, good to see you. St. Marionette, Sidvich. Wouldn't be a stream without our Norwegian brethren. Bet, I think I've done that one. Busy Pop again. Jennifer, so good to see Jennifer. So good to see so many green in here. Really good. Let's see. The Wookiee, I done you, I think, Wookiee. Not like that, but you know what I mean. Jocelyn, Bernays again. Carol, good to see you, Carol. I hope your day is getting a lot better. There we go. So with that said, I think it's time to get into our first story today. Now you're probably thinking, come on, Kev, get into this Niburu woo. It's coming. But first...
Squid in space. Or
Squid in space. Yes, I'll get the sound clip right in the end, Scotty. Don't worry about that. But let's get into it, right? Because this was what Fizzy in the chat room had great concerns about this, Scotty. I think me and you are going to be the best couple of characters to talk about this because we kind of have a bit of a shared love of all things from the sea, right? So we got the squids in space, Hawaii cephalopods to help keep astronauts healthy. It says it's hoped that studying the squid will help scientists see how astronauts could better cope with health issues in space. Scotty, I often like to laugh sometimes about weird science here on the pre-show stream. But hey, listen, what's going on here, dude? Is everything as it seems? I mean, if we were sending octopi, the not so humble octopus into space, I would be really thinking what's going on here. But what's your initial thoughts on squids in space, Scott?
I don't know. I mean, this is this is really interesting. I mean, I do enjoy
Hawaiian
good,
squid. Maybe we need to really be specific about this. It's a Hawaiian squid, Scotty.
I mean, I do enjoy me a good bowl of calamari every now and then. So,
but not space variety, no? You prefer yours to come with at least a dose of like growing under gravity conditions, yes?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting though. I mean, I wonder why they chose the squid. You know, and like you said, if it was an octopus, it would have been even more. It would have been a little more intriguing. I would have been asking a little more questions just because of.
Don't you worry, Scott. I've got you covered. You didn't think a story like this could pass me by without me making one of my all-time legendary timelines of fictional woo, right? And I know this is the first time I've ever done one of these legendary timelines of fictional woo, but the octopus is going to be a star in it. But I've got you covered here as well because I know why, or at least why they're saying they've done this. And it was SpaceX, so if we're going to blame anyone, let's blame Elon. You see, everyone says I'm a shill for him, but no. Well, let's hang on. We'll reserve judgment. We'll see what he's doing first. Dozens of baby squid have been sent into space so that scientists can see how they are affected by their journey. Now, right off the bat, Scott, because me and you are very diverse and inclusive people, I'm starting to wonder, did anyone seek the consent of the squid? Because squid lives matter. What? Come on, man. What, man? Come on. Okay. So the 128, this isn't as simple as sending one squid into space. This is like an invasion, invading the moon with squid. 128 baby Hawaiian bobtail squid were sent into orbit earlier this month on a SpaceX resupply mission to the ISS. And scientists say that understanding how the squid cope with their journeys into space could solve health problems faced by astronauts. How do you think that goes down, Scott? Do you think they, I was going to say sit down with a counsellor on the ISS, but I suppose they'd all be kind of floating about because of that zero-G thing going on. Do you think they sit and talk about their experience? Well, it's actually quite a comfortable journey for a squid.
Well, I mean, I would think that maybe the squid wouldn't even really notice much of a difference, right? Because when you're suspended in water in the ocean, right, it's almost like you're in zero-G. So I would assume that, zero-G gravity in space wouldn't be that much different. I mean, I don't know. But then you got to talk about the Schumann resonance and, being removed from the planet and what kind of effects that would have on the body. But I don't know. It's very interesting.
I can just see Monty Python type comedy sketches going on in my head where he's talking squid. But I'll get serious for a moment. Researcher Jamie Foster said, as astronauts spend more and more time in space, their immune systems become what's called dysregulated. Doesn't function very well. Their immune systems don't recognize bacteria as easily, and they sometimes get sick. Let me scroll down. She added there are aspects of the immune system that just don't work properly under long duration space flights. So if humans want to spend time on the moon or Mars, we have to solve health problems to get them there safely. Well, that's easy, and you don't have to harm any squid. Why don't they just give Corey Good a phone call? That guy's done 20 years on the moon. And he came back okay. They must have found a way to make him and all the other secret space astronauts. They all survived, Scott. We're harming squid for nothing here is my point.
Hmm.
Dripping in sarcasm, dripping, oozing.
Oozing. It's
I didn't even notice Zach was on the corner of the screen. What's he doing there?
Hey, he's looking for some calamari. That's why he's like, blah, blah.
Captain Obvious is there. What's going on? So yes, your thoughts, Scott?
I mean, it's interesting. Yeah, I'm sure that
Are
they
you
can
just
build
saying that?
some-
Are you just saying that?
Yes. Yeah, I am.
Everyone's thinking really interesting, Kev. We're all really delighted that there's squid in space. But everyone's wanting to get to Niburu. Well, you'll just have to wait, ladies and gentlemen. You'll just have to wait. So,
I mean, sending squid into space is pretty cool and all, but I'm still fascinated with the tardigrades that they send into space, right?
they
Because
done that recently again, didn't they?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Because with the squid, I'm sure the squid are still contained in water, and they're not just out of water floating around up there. But the tardigrades,
They got fired from a gun, dude.
Yeah, the tardigrades were exposed to the vacuum of space. They weren't in any container of water or anything to sustain them. They literally were just blasted with the full force of the sun's radiation and the vacuum of space, and they survive.
Oh, dude, dude, no. Now I'm starting to freak out. Right? Because we done shows in the past on Europa and things like that. Used to have Brendan Drackler, the astrophysicist dude, coming on. We would talk about the chances of life on Europa. Maybe octopus, maybe squid. We don't know. And you think about everything that's been going on now for a good few years. Maybe we've been looking at things all wrong, and we're laughing at something that's really, really deadly serious here. Again, dripping in sarcasm. Because if we go back to 2017, Scotty, right? And we had that, remember Oumuamua? And we had Avi Loeb, the Harvard scientist, say, no, this ain't no typical comet or asteroid. This is A, our first interstellar visitor, and B, it could be an ancient alien probe. And he talked about it maybe having some kind of message. And then in the months that followed that in 2017, what happened? We had Luis Elizondo to the Stars Academy, Tucker Carlson, the whole world going UFO and UAP mad. And then we've had a good couple of years now of drip, the odd video. And then something else I'm going to throw into the mix right here. And it might seem totally off my head, but bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, for my fictional narrative timeline I'm coming up with here. Then we had My Octopus Teacher in 2020. Remember that documentary that sent me all haywire, and I was talking about octopus way back then. I'm still talking about octopus today. Yep, so we had that happen. And now we're getting squids getting sent into space. We've had we've got the disclosure coming up this month, Scotty. We're firing tardigrades up there. And we always say, be careful what we wish for. So we talk about tardigrades, we talk about sentient octopi and squid. And now, what if, Scott, what if they've escaped? What if they've escaped the clutches of the ice in Europa? And really, all of this disclosure stuff is preparing us for a giant seafood battle in the heavens.
I was just about to say, are you suggesting?
Well, all of those things are data points. It's how you string them together and whether you're willing to go with me. You see where I'm going, man?
Are you suggesting that they're preparing us for the return of our giant tentacled overlords?
Well, remember the show, The OA? The OA, which was also on Netflix, and what was she communicating with? A big bloody giant sentient octopus, one of the old ones. And what did Geordie Rose say? The old ones are coming back. The old ones are coming back. Like, hey, dude.
Big up for the Goldie looking chain.
Exactly. And now as we're about to find out in a minute, well, you might say, where are they coming back from, Dave? Well, there's a bloody mini planet just floating into the solar system. Dude. Not that I would clickbait, but if I was going to clickbait, wow, that's a bit of a tale I've got going on there, Scotty, right?
Indeed.
You're
Indeed.
not buying it, dude. You're not even sounding like you're trying to buy it. I'm not happy. I need to work on this. I need to work on it, man. It sounded great in my head. I thought Scott's going to love this. From Squid to the octopus teacher to they're coming back on Niburu.
I'm with you, Kev. I'm with you on this.
Sitchin was
totally
wrong. Sitchin was wrong. They weren't Anunnaki. They were octopi. And they're coming for our gold.
I mean, although if you do want to throw a little woo in there, I mean, the sort of tentacled creature always being represented in a lot of different narratives, right? Like different shows and stories, and you've got kind of the Lovecraftian lore as well, right? You got Cthulhu and Cthulhu. Weren't those like creatures in the Upside Down and Stranger Things? Weren't they like tentacled creatures as well, or something along those lines?
ZX in the chat room says Darius arcade games. The bosses were giant robotic fish. You know what does that? You know what does that, ZX?
Genetically modified.
Genetic engineering.
The Octanaki. There you go. The chat room's on it. There. See, I knew the chat room would be into this. They dig it, man.
Yeah. Hey. It's.
You see how the band played as the Titanic were sinking, Scott? Right, the band kept playing. I'll still be telling my fictional narratives as the shit hits the fan, dude. I swear. I swear.
And if you remember The Matrix, remember what were those mechanical things that were chasing him around? And they were tentacled machines, right?
Dude.
That were like
yeah. They're like mechanical squid.
Exactly. So, well, I mean, there you go.
Holy squid, man. But hey, listen, at least we've got like our first line of tardigrades are up there. You know it's getting a bit sticky when you're having to send 128 like rapid response baby squid. Baby bobtail Hawaiian squid, no less. Telling you, man. So listen, Scott, are we ready? Are we ready to get a little bit more serious for something that could pan out to be significant? And I say significant because I'm still just in observation mode when it comes to the whole, dare we call it disclosure? We know it's not disclosure, but it still puzzles me and irks my brain that loves looking for patterns as to where we're going to go with all of this. And I don't know about you people out there, but I've been around this scene long enough to know that, well, if there is some kind of planetoid that's coming into our solar system on an eccentric orbit, that fits with some of the lore, some of the stuff that we've definitely heard before. I mentioned Sitchin, we'll go there. Planet X, Niburu, call it what you will, Wormwood. Some extra planetary body that flies in here. And the old ones, the ancient ones, whether they're Anunnaki or Octunaki, it's neither here or there in between, is it? So this is the story that I found first today. In fact, no, this was the story, the headline I found second. And I want to give a big special shout out to my friend Moron in the chat room. And it's this here. And as you can see, I've highlighted a very significant part of this headline. A mega comet, which would be one thing, pretty cool, or a minor planet, is approaching on a very eccentric orbit. It's not just one headline. There are many headlines out there about this thing. We'll take a look at this one first, though. 22nd of June, yesterday, an object with an orbit that takes it almost a light year from the sun is about to pay us a visit. We have almost a decade's warning because it is unusually large for a visitor from such a distance. It's unusually large, all right. It could become the largest comet ever seen. Although estimates of the object 2014 UN 271's trajectory are changing rapidly as we find more observations in the records, the current best guess is that it last came within the orbits of the planets 3 million years ago, and it will be even longer before it comes back. In astronomical terms, eccentricity is a measure of how elongated an orbit is. A perfectly round orbit has an eccentricity of 0, whereas one that is almost infinitely longer than it is wide has a value of approaching 1. On that basis, 2014 UN 271 is indeed very eccentric. It's at 0.99948, so not a kick in the bum off that 1, right? Made by one of its discoverers, but it also fits the bill in more colloquial terms, since it's not like any object we've seen before. It's at least 100 kilometers or 60 miles wide and could be as much as 370 kilometers across. Now, if it's a comet, as most objects are that have orbits like this, it's a candidate for the largest that we've ever seen. The closest competitor is the comet of 1729, Comet Sarbat, which was probably around 100 kilometers wide. On the other hand, if it never ends up producing a tail, there's a question of how something with that composition ended up reaching distances of thousands times farther from the sun than Neptune. Scotty Lopez, as I'm reading that out there, the old confirmation biases are going crazy in my head now. I see a green light on this, but my head's thinking blue kachinas. I remember all these prophecies about things like that. We've been talking about the Hopi with the Australians recently on the show. But dude, I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let you talk to the audience about your thoughts on this, man. This is pretty significant.
Well, I mean, was it a 3 million year orbit? I mean, that doesn't really coincide with the cycle of Niburu, right? Because isn't Niburu? What is it, like 30?
It's tens of thousands of years or 3,600. One of the two, right?
Yeah. It's one of the two. So I don't know if this would, fall within that sort of thing, but it's still significant either way. I mean, and that's a pretty large object to be entering, swinging through the solar system. I just wonder how it's able to maintain that orbit. If it's slinging itself almost a light year away from our sun, you would think that like the gravitational pull of the sun wouldn't really have much.
You'd think it would have no pull out there, Scott.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's kind of interesting in itself that it can be that far away and still, manage to kind of swing back around. I don't know, man. It's if it does produce a tail, I mean that first of all, I mean it's going to be significant in the fact that it's going to be a major celestial event if it does produce a tail and people can see it. I mean, just on that term alone, people are going to hold a lot of significance to that. It's going to be a celestial event in the sky that I think a lot of people are going to hold a lot of
Dude, it
significance.
could be like the Death Star.
It'd be pretty crazy, man.
I mean, like you say, right? I mean, neither of us are like PhD astrophysicists or astronomers, right? I wouldn't know one end of a telescope from the other. But that seems a pretty big, darn old object. But like you said, I can't get away from the fact it goes that far out, it takes that long to come back in. How on earth is our star? And look, our star is, yeah, it's awesome. It produces life here. We thrive. I get it. But when you compare it to other stars out there, it's like it's pretty small on the block. And because of its size, that's why I'm really sitting here, Scotty, trying to wrap my head around the fact that something's swinging around it. Like, it doesn't work for me, dude.
Yeah, because technically, right, the Voyager space probe has entered interstellar space and is technically not affected by our sun anymore. And it's not a light year away. So
it's weird, huh?
What's going on? Yeah, I don't know. It is.
We've got another story here. This comes from Fox News. I know, folks. Hey, listen, don't shoot the messenger. It says astronomers have reportedly discovered that an object moving from the outer reaches of the solar system will reach or will approach its closest Saturn's orbit over the next decade. The comet, they're really narrowing it down to a comet known as 2014 UN 271, was first discovered by the Dark Energy Survey, an international collaborative project started in 2013 that is listed as working at Chile's Victor Blanco telescope and was founded with the purpose of mapping galaxies, detecting supernova, and uncovering mysteries about dark energy. The discovery was announced on June the 19th, not too much fanfare, eh? All right, listen, that's unfair. I'm one guy in the world of 7.5 billion. Maybe everyone in the chat room already knew about this. Did you know about it, Scott?
That would be a negative. I had no idea.
No?
So,
yeah.
No.
So, I don't know. It's interesting, man.
You would think something like this would have gotten just as much attention as, remember, all of the Planet 9 talk and all of that?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And get this, Avi Loeb, he must be like semi-aroused right now because Harvard and Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics it says here that some qualified 2014 UN 271 as the size of a small dwarf planet, though Harvard Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics physics astronomer Jonathan McDowell questioned that analysis. All right then. Seems like maybe a tad too small to qualify as a dwarf planet. Oh, that's pretty sizist. You've got to be pretty inclusive nowadays. If it wants to be a dwarf planet, it can be a dwarf planet. Ain't that right, Scott?
Indeed. Indeed.
Its pronouns are Niburu. Woo. Deal with it. He wrote on Twitter, very cool nevertheless. Well, that's awfully nice of you to say it was very cool. Like we needed you to say it, Jonathan McDowell, with the very long, sweeping hair. An image of the trans-Neptunian object. See, Scott, it's really woke out there in space, right?
It is. Super woke.
It used to be Uranus, but now it's a trans-Neptunian. Posted by University of Pennsylvania astronomer Pedro Bernardinelli. Well, that's the name of somebody like one day. That's like Galileo, like, right? Bernardinelli.
It's got that Italian space. It's
got a gravitas to it. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Showed a large white and pixelated blob, which he said was comprised of several images taken over a period of years, 2014 to 2018. Scott, did you ever know we would be getting this excited about several images that produced a pixelated blob? We've got Niburu and the Octonaki coming back. And really, in reality, all they're looking at is a blob.
And I'm starting to kind of think that we're sending those squid up there to land on this thing.
Well, get this, Scott, because we're coming closer, right? We're taking it down from the millions of years now. I'm going to bring it more into the ballpark, right? It says the mega comet's orbit has been updated a few times, but it's extremely long, hundreds of billions of kilometers from the sun, and takes approximately 600,000 years. Give it a week, Scott. Give it a week, and they're going to say, you know what? This could be planet X. This could be that planet 9, Scott. What do you think?
Oh, you think that they're gonna kind of like merge the two together, and
well,
that
maybe when they look at more data, they'll realize, well, the orbit isn't that crazy, and you know what? It's got just about the right kind of pull. Even though it's small, it's got just enough of the pull to explain some of the perturbations that they see out there in the Oort cloud, you know?
Maybe.
Ooh. You heard it here first if it happens, folks. Listen, if I fling enough pizza to the wall, one bit's got to stick, right? If it's not the Octonaki, then please give me Planet 9. Come on, man.
Indeed.
There it is, dude. Look at it. Can you see that? Look at that blob. Oh my god. Whoa, look at that.
Look at that. That
beautiful. It looks like a QR code. What do you do if you scan it? Do you get like 10 squid coin?
Yeah, you scan it and you get a dancing octopus.
Would it be squidgy coin or squidge coin? Oh. I know, dude. Based on the given absolute magnitude and given how exceptionally red it looked, what was it, embarrassed? In 2014, pre-recovery images from the CFHT, lots of numbers and babble, I would estimate that an albedo of 0.1 to 0.8, a diameter of 130 to 370 kilometers, Scott. Now that's a bigger scale altogether, is it not?
Yeah, it's a chunky boy. It's a chunky boy.
It's a fat lad. Just say it. Shame it. It's a fat lad. Yeah. I have little doubt in my mind that as this gets closer to the sun, the clickbait will commence. I mean, sorry, that was just Dave talking. It'll begin displaying the coma and the tail typical of every other object seen in its orbit. Well, Oumuamua didn't display any of that. In fact, it speeded up on its way out, which shouldn't have happened. But hey, we digress. So yeah, pretty weird, Scotty boy. Pretty weird. You want some other weird space news, Scott?
Yeah, sure.
Now, I can promise Fizzy out there, if she's still with us, Fizzy, the squid are absolutely fine. I spoke to one just an hour before we went live today. It went well. The squid is happy. The journey was a bit longer than the squid expected, but we're going to get the squid back sometime soon. However, one individual that actually looks weirder than a squid might not be coming back from space if you people out there have got anything to do with it. Now, I would never encourage anyone to go and sign any online petition because not only are they not even worth the paper that they're not written on, they're probably not worth the pixels that you waste on your screen doing it. However, if there's one petition I could ever get behind, it would be to leave the human squid in space. Yes, Jeff Bezos, ladies and gentlemen, 100,000 signatures to leave a man that looks weirder than a squid in space. Scott, I want to know your thoughts on the morality of people actually doing this. I don't really think it's funny. But your thoughts on us leaving him up there. And he does look a bit like a squid, right? I mean, I don't mean to offend any squid, but it's got a look to it.
Can I get a link to the petition? Just asking for a friend.
Well, yes, you can. we will open said petition. There we go. And I'll send that to you. Where has Skype gone? There you go. There you go. You can tell your friend, Scott. I mean, look at that picture. I mean, that's the look of a man that knows he looks like a squid, and he's kind of happy about it.
You ever seen Squidward from SpongeBob?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. He's got the look.
Yep.
He's got the look.
People from now on, from this moment in history, Scott, people from now on, anytime they see a squid, all 60 of the people in here, in a world of 7.5 billion, that's pretty cool, I know. You're all going to see Jeff Bezos on the end of those tentacles. Or you're going to see tentacles on the end of Jeff Bezos, and that sounded a whole lot more risky than I thought it would.
No, see, I heard about this. I think it was last week that Bezos was going to go up.
Yeah, I like shit like this, dude. This shows that humanity can come together when it really matters, you know?
And you know, I'm assuming, you know, that he's going up on one of his Blue Origin rockets.
This is why I actually, as much as we're laughing and joking, I've got a real healthy dose of admiration for him, right? Because he's auctioned off a seat, and I suppose it's only right. It's only right that you would accompany said auction winner. But it's him and his brother, and yeah, they're going on like the maiden manned flight, or well, soid flight, because they're not full men, they're half men, probably half octopus or squid. But yeah, I think that takes a level of kahunas, man, to strap yourself to your own firework and aim yourself at space, you know?
Yeah. I guess so.
On a giant phallic symbol, because it does look that way.
Well, what's the term they use when something goes wrong? I'm trying to think. You know, when they're launching a rocket and things don't go according to plan, they usually say that there's an anomaly. That's
Houston,
what it is.
We have a problem. Houston, we have a problem.
Let's hope he doesn't have to say that, dude. That'd be horrendous.
You know, it would be a shame if there were an anomaly that occurred. You know, it would be absolutely.
Damn, did you taking it really dark? Like really dark. But listen.
I mean,
Nobody says
would
it better. Nobody says it better, Lopez. A couple of Australians. Let's have a little listen to this, shall we?
Rockets everywhere this morning. Well, outdoing his fellow billionaires in the race to space. Amazon boss Jeff Bezos will blast into orbit next month.
On a giant penis. Look at it, man. That's not right.
You
know what they call that?
A rocket.
They call it Blue Origin. Does that look a little odd to you? It's just me.
Oh, you bloody Australians. I love them, man.
I think Bezos is trying to compensate for something.
You think so?
If yeah, I think there's it's kind of like the old guys that run around in lifted trucks. You know, got to get the big tires, lift the thing like 6 feet off the ground, and really draw a lot of attention to themselves. It's compensation for lacking in other areas, let's just say.
The actual petition, it gets funnier, dude, because it says the petition simply states that billionaires should not exist on Earth or in space, but should they decide the latter, they should stay there. Now, a rival petition with the exact same goal has amassed just under 25,000 signatures Jeff Bezos is actually Lex Luthor, disguised as the supposed owner of a super successful online retail store. However, he's actually an evil overlord hell-bent on global domination. The presumably tongue-in-cheek petition reads, "We've known this for years." See, the white hats are on him, Scott. It goes on to say here, ready? It goes on to allege that Bezos has worked with the... Oh, hang on.
Knights Templar and the Freemasons to control the world.
He's also in bed with flat earth deniers. It's the only way they'll allow him to leave the atmosphere. Meanwhile, our government stands by and lets it happen. This may be our last chance before they enable the 5G takeover and perform a mass takeover, Scotty.
Ooga booga, because the Illuminati are coming for you.
I'm not so sure I want to sign the petition now. Are we sure this petition wasn't put together by Corey Good?
Okay, could well have been. The 10-minute flight will see the crew accelerate to just over 3 Gs before the capsule detaches. Now, hang on a minute. There's like going into space, and then there's like a 10-minute flight just at like the kind of altitude that you need to declare you're in space. Come on, dude.
Yeah, I figured this wasn't going to be what I would consider a real trip to space. This is kind of like the Red Bull guy going up on the balloon, right? And just barely kissing the edge of space and then being like, ha ha, I was in space, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And then they'll take like $1 bajillion of 3 unwitting kind of participants in the next online auction to be the first ones to go to the moon on said flying phallic symbol. We see what you're at, Bezos. In fact, where do we sign it, Scott? Where do we sign it? No, but moving on. We've got other stuff here now. Since we looked at Bezos, I thought, well, this is kind of interesting. But it's Tesla cars, Scotty. You might like this. Seen this on one of the websites I was on today. But I had no idea that over here in the UK, he's actually making us like emergency response vehicles. Look at that thing, dude.
Wow.
It's pretty cool.
Interesting.
So it says in March, we reported that Tesla had begun officially promoting the Model 3 as an emergency response vehicle in the UK. And just a few months later, the automaker has created a demonstration police car to be trialled on UK roads. Pretty cool,
well, it looks a hell of a lot better than the cars you got now.
Yeah,
I've always thought that the UK police cars looked kind of...
Some places are better than others because you got like different forces, Scotty. Same where over where you are, you know, but I like that. Don't want to see it in my rear view mirror, but I like it.
Yeah, you don't want to be like heavily involved with it, but yeah.
So we're gonna go back to space now, though, right? And I don't know if you've been watching any of this happening, but the Chinese, they've got the thing going on Mars right now, but they had a recent rocket launch, and it ended up with like heaps of stuff falling back down to Earth. I mean, check this out. This, you got the kind of what's it called? Tetroxide oxidizer gas. Nitrogen tetroxide oxidizer gas.
Yeah, if I was the person filming that, I would not be anywhere close to that. That is extremely, extremely dangerous.
My
to be
thoughts exactly, Scott. When I first seen that, I thought, you've got to be kidding me. But there's actually, there's been other pictures as well. One fell on like a road. Right onto the road, took a couple of trees out. This is crazy, dude. Or is it part of like the invasion? Are things getting taken out in space? Tried to put my serious face on it. Tried to keep serious for a moment there, but I couldn't stay in part, man.
You know, the Chinese don't seem like they really have much of a plan when it comes to space junk or these boosters and stuff returning. Like, they really don't seem like they care.
They don't care about anything. You know that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just given recent events over the past year or so, we know that they don't care.
Chinese.
Yeah. So, I mean, are we really surprised that they would allow booster rockets and whatnot to just kind of randomly fall wherever they?
You're just going about your
you know?
business, though, Scotty. You know, maybe having yourself a bit of a bad boy or something like that, and PPP, and then big rocket just lands and ruins your day, man. Starts pumping out orange, noxious gas everywhere. And squid flying around and tardigrades falling on your head. Remember, was it not? No, it was Israel. Remember they crashed some goo into the back of the moon?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on that makes you go,
Indeed.
so ripe for, it's like fertile ground for a man like me to step in and maybe finally write my sci-fi book. Squid in space. We've sent up, I've got it, we've sussed it, we've sent up Jeff Bezos. He is the ambassador of the Squidwards, right?
He is, yes.
Yeah.
He's their overlord. He's the squid overlord.
Listen, he's more real than any ambassadors I hypothetically spoke to. Boom, boom. Yes, Scotty, I'll never let myself live that one down.
Genetically modified. Genetic engineering.
Oh, listen, folks.
That was the sound that happened when that Chinese rocket fell from the sky.
It probably is, my friend. It probably is. But listen, what are the chat rooms saying? Let me have a quick look in there before we wrap up today's proceedings. And I've got Jimmy Jeans. He was in the bath the last time I spoke to him. I didn't speak to him when he was literally in the bath because A, that would sound creepy, and B, it would have creeped me out. Only Joe Joseph calls me from the shitter, and he actually does that, ladies and gentlemen. Why he does that, I have got no idea. It's like shock value. First 3 times I spoke to Joe, he had his trousers around his ankles, he was doing a number 2, and not only that, he declared it. He took a picture of himself sitting there on the throne. They ever done that to you, Scott?
He's proud of his achievements.
Isn't he? He's like, that's weird. That's the weird thing about our Joe. He's a unique smorgasbord of conundrums wrapped up in a riddle.
Folded in an enigma, I guess you could say.
I heard a vicious rumor that Popeye and Joe Joseph were last seen heading to the woodshed. Yeah, they've got a chipper. They're ready to go. They're ready to go 24/7, ladies and gentlemen. All we need to do is pray that those squid up there are able to take out and chokehold the blue chickens, or we are all absolutely
I think that is the intergalactic space battle that we're all going to witness. We're going to see octopi and squids battling with blue avians in the skies above, my friend.
Could be, dude. I wonder how long Fizzy Pop lasted. Myself and Scott feared that Fizzy Pop might not get our brand of content when we've seen the chat beforehand. Fizzy Pop, I hope you've had a laugh. I hope you're still here. It's how we roll on here. It's something different. It's not very serious. We like to have a laugh. But it helps all of you escape from the crazy as well. At least that's what I hope to do. And it's been great today having Scotty on board with me as well. That's been good fun. Couple of comments from the chat room and then we'll get going. Let's hope the potholes are on their sat-nav, says Karen. Absolutely. Polly says, I hope Bezos pays his rocket builders better than Amazon. Said like a man that would hypothetically work at one of those places. Go Polly. We're all Polly. Let's support Polly, man. Have you signed the petition, Polly? Probably against your contract to do that. Pretend I said nothing, Polly. Donnie says the Americans dump a space station on Australia. And don't forget, you've got that really kind of, one of my, it sounds a bit weird, but one of my favourite kind of weird locations, Pine Gap. I find it interesting because of like the signals type aspect of it, Scotty, the communications, because of the army and stuff. But of course, it's on original ground. Pine Gap is commonly used name for the US satellite surveillance base and Australia Earth Station, approximately 18 kilometres southwest of the town of Alice Springs in the Northern Territory, in the centre of Australia, which is jointly operated by Australia, the United States. And I've seen some people saying, don't shoot me, I'm just saying, some people have said aliens. There's meant to be an underground base there. I've heard that as well. Since 1988, it has been called the Joint Defence Facility Pine Gap, previously known as the Joint Defence Space Research Facility. Part of the Five Eyes, I can tell you that right now. There it is down there. Listen, Australians, dude, we think like we live in a Big Brother society, right? When you start looking into like the surveillance on Australians by Australians, it's insane. Like insane. It puts our stuff here in Scotland, it puts it to shame. And it's pretty grim here. So Down Under is not out of sight. That's why we like to talk about it on here. Yeah, the woo is good. The woo is great. And there's a good chance that maybe we all came out of there. But I tell you, it's like almost a canary in the coal mine for bigger picture type stuff. Because it almost is, Scott. Like, they'll try it there because nobody's really looking like it's Australia, right? It's a different time of day. It's down under. Nobody cares. Or at least that's what they think.
Well, and the location of it, I mean, it is dead center in the middle of the outback, right? It's in the most probably like remote location in Australia. And it's kind of like the NSA base over there in Utah. They put them out in the desert or these kind of strategic locations to where they know that nobody's going to really be able to get out there and snoop around and mess with them. So you've got the Five Eyes, and then I heard that there's like an even broader sort of 14 country coalition, and I forgot what they're called, but it's sort of the same deal going on there. But yeah, these facilities, it's probably one of the most strategic locations you could probably put it, right? It's like how they put ICBM silos in the heartland of the United States, right, in the middle of the country. Keep them away from the coasts, makes it harder for it's just a strategic location. So yeah, and who knows what's going on over at Pine Gap, man. I mean,
guess what I mean, right? I mean, everyone, it's like Area 51. Everyone talks about Area 51. There's like films named after Area 51. It's the bases that you don't hear so much about. And I know Area 51's a different kettle of fish, kinda, from Pine Gap. But I say kinda because we really don't know everything that goes on at Pine Gap because it's so secretive. And who knows how many underground layers they've got, or levels, should I say, because that's meant to go way down the way. And again, it's probably a bit fantastical, some of the stuff you hear about, like I said, the aliens. And there was one time I was listening to Coast to Coast, and they said that there was like faster than light travel. You kind of went through the center of the earth from Australia to the underground bases in America. Look, I don't know, that's pretty cool sci-fi stuff. But what we do know about it, the surveillance aspect, dang, it's off the charts. Then you add it, Scotty, into all these satellites that we know nothing about. We see Starlinks going up and people get excited about that, but there's rockets going up every single day. Multiple rockets all the time. It's like soon we're going to have a ring round the planet. That's what it feels like. We're literally going to have a ring of dishes and technology, and it's crazy, dude, right?
Yeah, I mean, here just within the next, I would say 20 years or so, I mean, the sky is going to change at night, and we're going to be seeing a lot. People already see these Starlink, nanosat trains that fly across the sky, and the more those get put up there, I mean, it's going to be just kind of the normal thing to go out at night and just see a bunch of this stuff floating around up above us.
Got a picture there. I hope this is wrong, but it feels right. That's all the known bits of debris and satellites and everything, Scotty.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yep.
It's actually pretty insane how much is actually up there.
The Octunaki might not actually see us. You know?
Yeah.
Uluru,
yeah.
I believe Uluru is Ulura, but we'll find out. Uluru. No, I've got that well wrong. Uluru, Uluru. There you go. See, I apologize to Uncle Donnie. Uluru, known as Ayers Rock, and officially gazetted as Uluru Ayers Rock, is a large sandstone rock formation in the southern part of the Northern Territory, or something that was absolutely thrown in there, Scotty, eh? Look at that. What is that all about, dude? I mean, what geological explanation do they have for that just rising out of the, flatness?
As I'm saying, it's like everything around it is just like flat, and then all of a sudden, boom. It's like
Not buying it.
Something tells me that bad boy was chucked down there by something.
They done a ceremony there on the 21st of December 2020, and they didn't know it at the time, but somebody filming it caught a massive flash, Scotty, at the time of doing the meditation, and then after that, a UFO in the sky as well. Yeah, that's what we got into the last time we had Evan and Stephen Strong on the show. It was like, it's mind-boggling, dude. Mind-boggling.
It's crazy, man.
And there's something about that Australian orange. Look at it. You don't get orange like that anywhere else.
Actually, you do.
No,
you do.
Say it isn't so. Say it isn't so. Don't tell me Arizona. I'm not buying it.
Actually, you get orange like that in Oklahoma.
That's okay
it's
then.
Weird.
Oklahoma, I can take that because that's okay.
Anybody who lives in Oklahoma can vouch for me. Oklahoma red dirt. Yeah.
Well, Scotty, listen, before we pay homage to your orange red dirt, and I'm impressed that you've got stuff to rival Australia. Talking of Australia, I think you'll back me up in saying congratulations to Uncle Donnie. Not only is he recovering from not one but two heart attacks, but now he's a grandfather as well. So from me, I'm sure Scotty will want to say something in a moment, but Donnie, congratulations, brother. Really, really proud of you, man. The more I see Kevin growing up, the closer that day's coming to me. But for now, well done, old man. Well done, Uncle Donnie. Yes. Scotty. Yep.
Congrats, Donnie, and I'm glad to see you're recovering from your health issues that you recently had. I had seen that, and I was pretty concerned. I was like, oh man, but I knew Big Donnie could pull through. Big Donnie, it's gonna take more than that to.
So Donnie remembers me and him having past lives together, and now here we are, separated, different hemispheres, and yet we still somehow managed to sync up from different parts of the world, reconnect, and not only do I have not one but two heart attacks, but Donnie then goes and have one but two heart attacks.
Very yeah. That I just now made that connection. Now that you mention
Synchronicity isn't lost on me, Donny. The synchronicity is not lost on me. Yes, indeed. Weird, Scott, eh?
Yeah, that's some woo right there.
That's some woo right there, ladies and gentlemen. And on that note, with 60 absolutely brilliant, shining, bright souls in the chat room, I would say probably 5 bots as well. Because, hey, we're online. You've got to be expecting them. I want to wish you all a very good day. And if you can handle more of me, I'll be back in 19 minutes over on tfrlive.com, TalkStream Live, Paranormal Radio app, Discord, the KBS Discord server. Jimmy Jeans is in the hot seat today. I think it's just 2 dudes talking again. Nothing planned, nothing scripted. Jimmy live from his new studio. Yes, into the microcosm.
Oh,
Yeah, he's got his own
Jimmy
gaff now,
got it.
dude. It's looking lovely, man. He was sending me pictures. It looks absolutely awesome.
fantastic. And everyone out there, I will catch you guys next week. I'm going to just kind of chill out for the rest of the week and try and recover from bonking my noggin, scrambling the old eggs a little bit.
It's better than nonking your boggin.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Scott, it's
So,
okay because if it gets any worse, I'll just send my two really esteemed doctors.
Genetically modified.
Yeah. Bakshi is a doctor. There you go, Major General Dr. Bakshi. Damn, is there nothing that man can't do?
He's a fantastic individual with a fantastic mustache.
It really is. Karen says, great show, thanks guys. You can tell real from fake though, says, hang on now. At the end of the day, some people make stuff up to sell books. Alza, you know, on top of that as well, to give them their due, I think some people truly believe stuff. And then maybe, for example, making something up here, say you believe something for 10 years, whatever it is, and you build up an audience. Maybe over that time, you start seeing different information coming your way, which makes you realize, well, maybe I wasn't correct. Maybe I wasn't quite 100% on it. But because you've been doing it for 10 years then, it's hard for any human, A, to say they were wrong, and B, you know, sometimes it's easier just to keep going along and just ignore the information that's really changing your paradigm, you know?
It goes back to the Metal Gear Solid stuff I had presented yesterday, you know, where people refuse to admit, you know, look at information that may shatter their worldview or paradigm.
Dude, I've done it with Jimmy a couple of times when he said things to me. I've been like, Jimmy, no. And then maybe a month later, I've gone back and I said, wow, dude, all right, fair enough. Because it totally, like, it meant in my mind, well, I've got that totally wrong. But I did have it totally wrong. Do you know what I'm saying? But the old subconscious is like, don't you dare. Don't you dare admit you've got anything wrong. You're fine. Go back to Twitter. It'll reinforce your beliefs, Kev. Fictive reality, folks. It's dangerous. Stop it. Just stop it. Behave. And it's Scott, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
So listen, dude, I'm sure on behalf of the audience, they're all wishing you get well very soon. I hope you do manage to shake it off ASAP, Scotty, and you get back to cleaning up on Call of Duty.
Exactly. So by next week, I should be back to 100%. But until then, I'm going to just kick back and relax. And like I said, I'll catch everyone next week, man.
Yep, and I think, look at that, there's a topic we need to dig into. Uluru and the Great Glen Fault Line. Dang, dude.
Ooh.
That's like where Loch Ness is. That would be like a connection where I was shaped and molded. I didn't grow up. I was shaped and molded into the man you see today. Anyway, on that note.
Sound like Bane. I was molded in it, born in it.
Either that or I sound like a really, really cheap crap knockoff of David Wilcock. Either way, it doesn't sound too good. That's all I'm saying. So listen, folks, thank you for your time today. Keep it real and remember, keep your mind open. Keep looking for the woo but not to the point where your brain turns to black goo.
Come on, man. Excuse me, it's ma'am.
Are you serious?
How dare you?
Genetically modified.